Reactive training systems.
So I just want to make a quick video about cutting weight or making weight at a competition. And now I don't intend for this to be a super detailed video or an advanced video, but there are just some basic good practices that you see sometimes from lots of lifters, but in a surprising number of lifters, even at the national level, you fail to see, or you see people doing it incorrectly or inefficiently. So I wanted to cover what some of those fundamental practices are in the hopes of helping some people make weight better and do it better. The first thing I would say is have it all planned out. You know, understand what you're going to do as far as, you know, your water cut, if you're going to do a water cut or a water load. How much do you need to weigh a week out? How much do you need to weigh 3 days out? How much do you need to weigh 1 day out? And so on. Have an idea of what those targets need to be. Now, there are other articles and other videos that go into more depth on how you can establish what those targets are, but if you've never come in contact with any of that stuff, just think about it for a minute. You know, so let's take the 24 hours out period, and let's assume that you're doing a water load. So usually people stop their water intake from a water load 12 hours out, and there's an overnight period and where you continue to lose weight. So when you hit that 12-hour point, you need to be about have as much weight to lose as what you would typically lose overnight. So you would monitor your overnight weight loss for, you know, the week, 2 weeks while you're doing this water load, and that will establish what the target is. So let's say that you typically lose 3 pounds overnight while doing the water load. Then you know that you can be 3 pounds over 12 hours out when you stop the water load. So stuff like that can help you establish some targets to hit. You know, and if you want to build in a margin of error, that's not a bad idea either. So have some targets to hit. The second thing would be have a plan for recomping that weight after weigh-ins. So especially in USA Powerlifting or IPF affiliated events, it's a 2-hour weigh-in. So usually from the time that you weigh in, depending on where your lot number is, to the time that you start your warm-ups, you're going to have between 1 and 2 hours. So it's not long at all to get yourself reconstituted. So you need to have it together. You know, if you plan to go to a restaurant to have breakfast, well, you're going to chew up a lot of time transitioning to the restaurant and then waiting for your food. So you lose almost all of that time. So bring something with you. Bring some carbohydrates with you. Bring some liquids with you. Bring something to eat that's easy to eat, that you can get some calories in quickly. Now for myself, I typically don't like to eat on meat day. The nerves make me not very hungry. So I found over time the thing that I need most in order to get some calories in is I need it to be pretty hyper palatable. So I've gone with peanut butter and jelly. It's something that's easy to eat. It's pretty calorie dense. It provides some quick fuel for that day. You know, eating a lot of protein doesn't necessarily help you in terms of that competition for that day. So it's just getting something in that's easy to eat. Now, I was at Raw Nationals last week, and we saw some pretty interesting things. On one end of the spectrum, I saw someone eating a pie, like literally out of a pie pan, just kind of taking a spoon to the middle of it, a pie. And as, I don't know, I suppose gluttonous as that sounds, it's actually maybe not a bad idea, maybe not the best idea either, but, you know, if you're in a situation like I often am, where eating is not the easiest thing for you to do on meat day, then maybe a pie is a good way to get in some calories. On the other end of that spectrum, I also saw someone eating a mustard sandwich, and I don't know what the reasoning is behind that, but I can't imagine what that would be. But that's definitely on the other end of the spectrum in terms of palatability from a pie. So you know, there's the range that you have to operate in. You know, bring something with you that you can eat, that gets some calories in, that solves your weight reconstitution problems. I would say those are kind of the big basics. There are plenty of resources that go more in depth as far as how to cut weight and how to make weight. In fact, TSA, the Strength Athlete, that's Bryce Lewis's company, recently published a podcast that's kind of gotten rave reviews as far as how to cut weight. So if you're interested in that, then I would recommend it. If you want to take it in a more, you know, advanced level. But if you're not even doing the basics right, then I would start there and then move forward from there.
Reactive training systems.